Hey friends, if you are doing remote or hybrid work, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you some of my productivity tools that I've been using. I have been doing hybrid and remote work since 2014, and I just love how many of these new tools have come out, especially since the pandemic, but there's some oldies but goodies in here that I wanted to share with you. So if you're doing any kind of remote, this is for you. But first, before we start, I'm Genevieve Kim, and I'm here to help you make your flow in creativity and business just smoother and easier through tapping, EFT tapping, and journaling. So here we go. Like I mentioned, I've been doing remote work since 2014. I was in management consulting, and so oftentimes we wouldn't even need to go into the office. We would just be working online. So there was a lot of things that we were doing just digitally, right? So I learned early on what that was gonna look like. And then when I started my own business in about 2016, that's when I pretty much went fully remote. Making sure that I was able to stay on top of things and also have a good workflow was really important to me wherever I was going in the world. So I am gonna start out the first tip. And by the way, that's Sammy. Sammy is a rescue that I fostered during this time. He's with me for a month, So the very, very first one that I'm gonna introduce to you is Krisp. I absolutely love Krisp.ai. And by the way, I'll have the links to all of these tools down in the description below. Krisp.ai, if you're working from home and you have a lot of background noises, whether it's the lawnmower or it's your child screaming, Krisp.ai actually tunes out every single one of these sounds. I tried it with my goddaughter sitting next to me. She was like a 2-year-old, she was 2 years old at the time, and she was screaming her head off, and Krisp.ai tuned it out. Couldn't even hear it. So it's a great tool if you are working from home, or if you decide to take your calls and do a recording where it's maybe it's at a cafe or outdoors. Tip number 2, calendly.com. I think this is like the best, honestly, the best way to save all that back and forth of scheduling. Like, I don't know how about you, but you know, it's like, oh, when are you free? When are you free? Oh, okay, can you meet at this time? I can't do that. And then trying to do that with, say, 3 other people, it gets so exhausting. So I use calendly.com, and they actually do have a free version, which is awesome. Same thing with Krisp.ai. So you can start out with for free and just set up a calendar. It's super easy, and you know, and just say, hey, you know what, for your convenience, you can book a time. Let's set up a time to talk on Calendly. And I even use it with my acquaintances or like with my non-professional people, because frankly, you know, it sometimes can be really difficult when we're trying to talk to friends who are, say, on a different time zone, or they're living across the globe, and it just makes it so much easier to find a time that works. Okay, third one is Roam Research. Now, I know I'm a little late to this party bus because apparently like it blew up way before, but I just started using it a few weeks ago, and I am already obsessed. What I love about Roam Research, it is a fantastic way for you to organize things that you're researching, and it's kind of like how your brain works. You know, we don't necessarily always think top down, right? So some other apps that I use, and I still love Notion, don't get me wrong, but you have to think hierarchically. But let's be honest, when we're having a great idea in the middle of a conversation, we just want to jot it down, and it may be connected to something that we thought about like maybe last week in a completely different conversation, and then it sparks something for maybe your blog. And so all of these things can be connected, yes, through a net. And there's ways to link different things. You can also see different patterns. I also love the fact that you can keep track of your to-dos. And by the way, I am not doing Roam justice right now in explaining this. And in fact, if there are any of these apps or these tools that I list, and you would like for me to do a video describing how I use it or go into detail, please leave those in the comments below. I'd love to do a video on any of these, because I am pretty much like, I am an evangelist for these. By the way, I'm not getting paid to talk about these, but it's just that I genuinely love them, and I hope that they help you. So number 4 is Boomerang. And Boomerang is basically a way for you to either pause your inbox or follow up on emails. And why I love this, well, first of all, how many of us, or how many of you get a little distracted with checking your emails or like, responding to one of your team members or your clients, and you just go to your inbox and then you end up getting none of your to-do list done, right? Because you're just constantly in this fight or flight mode or putting out fires. And so for me, what I do now is I use Boomerang so that I only check my emails when I want them to come through, right? So Boomerang will hold these for you. Say if you wanted to just check your inbox only at 10 a.m. and then 2 p.m. and then 6 p.m., you can actually have your mail held kind of like in this old holding pattern, right? Somewhere in the clouds, right? And then all your mail that was sent to you, right? It comes in at 10 o'clock and then comes back, at 2 and then at 6 o'clock, which is fantastic, right? So then you don't get distracted. The other thing that I really love about it is that you can set up times where you want to follow up. So for example, if you sent out a client email with a particular prospect and you just want a reminder, okay, I need to follow up with them on such and such a date, you can do that super easily. So I love Boomerang. I do think that they have a free version as well. So hey, why not just try it? Now this tool number 5, I use every single day, pretty much without fail. It is CANVA. You may already have used it for some of your designs, and if you haven't, it's phenomenal. What I love about it is that you can do everything from presentations, you can make GIFs, you can make Instagram posts, Instagram stories, you can add video, you can add motion graphics. I mean, it's just super, super easy. I had one friend who was like, hey, how did you make that graphic on LinkedIn? And I was like, Canva, baby. Like, what we used to have to hire professional motion graphics to do in, say, After Effects, or in Adobe, now it can be done super simple in Canva. And what I love also about Canva, again, it is for free. There is a free version where you can use so many of the tools on there. And then if you want to, you can upgrade to premium. And that's what I've done because I just use it so much. And there's a lot of stock photos and images that I do like to use here and there, and other features. So hey, Canva, I would use it, baby. And I'm definitely down to do a tutorial on some of the things that I have used it for if you'd like that. So click on put it in the comments below, and I definitely do that for you. All right, this number 6 is one of those that's not digital, but absolutely so key, and I love it. Actually, it's right here. It's handy dandy. It is this. It's called THISISMYERA journal. Okay, and actually one of my clients, he co-founded this, and for every planner that is sold, he gives back to funding children in Africa. So, and by the way, they have it in partnership with World Vision. What's awesome about this is that you can really just, what I love about it is that it's a 90-day planner. So I like to think of 90-day sprints, especially now that, with things so uncertain. Yeah, I'm gonna use that U word. With it being so uncertain, like planning for a year in advance, it just seems kind of ridiculous. Like 5-year vision, I don't even know what that is, right? Can you imagine? So I love that it is 90 days. And also, there's just like, you can put down master goals, right? And then how are you gonna achieve those? Fantastic. And then you have the monthly reviews. And then every single week, you can do weekly reviews, like think about what your goals are gonna be. And then in addition to that, then there's a section where you just basically break down into the days. And I freaking love this. There's nothing better than a good old-fashioned pen and paper. Scientists say that we retain things a lot more when we write things. So I love this journal. I highly recommend it. Love the formats, love the way it is. And plus it's got some inspiring quotes, so can't help. Going back to digital, we're gonna talk about number 7, which is Loom.com. Loom is basically where you can record things that are on your computer. And basically, you can either have you in a little small circle with your face on it, recording and screen sharing on your computer so that you can walk people through step by step. I like to use this sometimes for client reviews, like if there's a deck and I just like to walk them through what I'm thinking about, or if I like to give feedback on particular designs. I also love to use it just to show show people like my dad. He oftentimes asks me questions about like, how do you figure this out, this particular app or things, right? Because my dad he's 82, and so like, you know, he's pretty savvy with tech, but some things he just needs a little extra like, hey, like I need this troubleshooting. So Loom is awesome for that. And I think for the free version, you can record up to 25 videos. This is great. Also for you online business people, woohoo, woohoo. If you have these like introductions or, you know, like you're trying to record some things for your courses, this is also an awesome way to put in like some of your videos and have a screen share at the same time. Fantastic. Honestly, can't say enough about it. You can also do some of these features in Canva as well, but I just find that Loom, I love how the simple link sharing, etc., and like the plugin to Chrome or any extension, it just makes it so easy to screen share. So check it out. Now we're going on to number 8, which is actually a time saver in delegation. So it's called FIVERR.com, and you probably have heard of it. It's similar to Upwork, but in my honest opinion, I think it is so much of a time saver compared to Upwork. Because why? The scope of work is so clearly laid out. And for me, when I am thinking about, you know, just wanting to outsource things, I don't want to have to go back and forth of just like agreeing on, okay, what are we going to get done in this particular project, la 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 la, like, and negotiating on prices or thinking about how many hours is it going to take. It's just so clear. For example, like me having to, for me to get this video edited, right? I go to Upwork because I know exactly like, okay, so for up to 8 minutes, I can record this and I can do motion graphics and I can edit the coloring, etc. It's like so clearly laid out and how much the cost for it. By the way, the cost and the quality is phenomenal. So I love Fiverr. It's super easy to find anybody from, you know, YouTube video editing, YouTube keyword searching, or maybe even creating some of your logos, your templates for your presentations, or you need some copywriting done. Definitely Fiverr can do so many of these things. I even had someone help me build an email funnel and actually help me install like on ConvertKit. Then there are people who are really good with Aweber or anything. So there's just a variety of things that you can get help with if you don't have the time or you don't have the expertise. Number 9 is kind of for you crypto people. And I will just say this, I just started really getting into crypto probably the last 2 months. So I'm not huge, but I did do quite a bit of research and I've talked to a lot of friends and I went on to this YouTube rabbit hole, you know, all that shebang. And I recently downloaded the app Voyager. And why I like Voyager is I'm able to basically do my dollar cost averaging, you know, like basically investing, you know, on a regular period and doing it incremental. It automatically happens with Voyager. You can just have it set up with your bank account where they do deposits. I like that. For me, that's really helpful because then it's kind of like set it and forget it, but not really. I mean, with your investments, you do want to keep track of it, but it just makes it easy where I know that on a consistent basis, I am going to meet my dollar cost averaging. Last but not least is number 10. And honestly, it has been such a lifesaver, especially during the pandemic when, you know, going to a co-working place was not available. So I used to get a ton of work done being in a co-working space. Like just that vibe of having other people around me really helped me concentrate. It was like kind of like that buzz, you know, of people like staring at their screens and getting shit done. So in lieu of that, I actually became a part of, initially I started with FocusMate. And FocusMate is awesome. It is for free. They do have a free version of it where I think they offer you up to like a few work sessions per week. Definitely go ahead and check that out. But I was super excited. I actually got onto something else, which is called The Process. It is my old writing community in LA. They kind of went virtual and they switched. They're kind of this Discord community, which is awesome. So I've been on The Process, and basically what FocusMate or like The Process, or even if you're a student, there's something called hours.zone. Yes, that's what it is, hours.zone. there's a lot of different ways that you can co-work virtually. And what I like about this is that you know that there's a concerted effort towards something. People are, you typically do want to talk about what your goals are during the work session, and then afterwards you have someone to hold you accountable and just basically say, so how did the session go? And that level of accountability is super, super important for me personally, because if I didn't know that I had somebody checking in on me, I might still be Netflix binging. Yeah, so anyways, those are my top 10 productivity tools that I've been using throughout my virtual, my remote, my hybrid, professional working days. They all have helped. If you have other tools that you know of, I would love, I'm like kind of one of those geeks where I'm constantly like learning different tools and all these. These aren't all of them by any means. There are quite a few more that I use just because I'm constantly scouring for them, and I just love learning. So share, please do. And also, I'd love to hear if any of these worked for you, and if you want any more tutorials on them, just let me know. If this video was helpful for you, please like, and also be sure to subscribe so you can hear the next time I have other videos like this. All right, thank you for watching. Peace out.